It's gonna be a super short video with this graph in focus. It's really just gonna go through these 2 points. At the equilibrium quantity, marginal benefit equals marginal cost, so the quantity is the efficient quantity, but I'm pretty sure that we already went through that. And when the efficient quantity is produced, the total surplus is the sum, which is the sum of the consumer surplus and producer surplus is maximized. So let's take a look at this. So we already know that at this point, this is the efficient quantity of burgers. That is, when the two curves intersect, we have the efficient quantity of burgers. In this case, the efficient quantity of burgers is 10. Okay, now for the total surplus part. So you can see here that in this graph, there's really nothing interfering with it, which I mean that there's no cutoff between, there's no cutoff in the graph, and we will look at that in the next couple of videos. But yeah, this graph is perfectly good, in which I mean that the highlighting is all filled in right to the brink of the intersection. And in such a case, we usually know that there are no interference or barriers that are affecting the efficiency of the market. So this green highlighted part is our consumer surplus, which is above the market price and below the demand curve. This blue highlighted part is the producer surplus below the market price and above its supply curve. And the sum of these two surpluses gives us the total surplus, which I mentioned here. And at this total surplus, that is the most efficient quantity uh, being produced, and that is the maximum. Well, yeah, that's whatever it says here. When the efficient quantity produced, total surplus is maximized. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And to calculate the total surplus, what we can do is, what I usually do is I just look at the consumer surplus and producer surplus as squares. So it's much like using this formula again where I calculate base times height. Now base times height gives me a square. So it gives me, um, like for consumer surplus, it gives me this area, this square. Now, after it gives me the square, I just divide it by 2 to cut the square in half, and I get exactly this green area. And that'll give me the number or the the price or whatever, the surplus for the consumer surplus, and that gives me a quantity. Now I could do the same for the producer surplus, and that'll give me another number, and adding those two numbers from the consumer surplus and the producer surplus, that'll give me the number for the total surplus. It's really that simple, and I don't think I have anything else to go through with respect to this graph and total surplus. But yeah, I think that's it. So please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.